Hey, welcome back. Today's episode is about decisions. What are decisions? How can we make better decisions? Are there tools to make proper decisions or to make decisions more often? There are. Let me share them with you. First, I want to get into the part of what is a decision. Now, if you believe one theory, then decision or to decide comes from the Latin word decidere. De means to or from, and cardere means cut off. So if you really think about it, making a decision or to decide means to cut off. And that's very true, because if you make a decision, if you make a real decision, you cut off any other option, any other possibility. You decide for one way and you will go that way. That's what a decision is. Now, what do you cut off? I always like to see it as a two-sided coin. On one side of the coin, you decide for something. On the same coin, but on the opposite side, you decide against something. You cut off something else. A very simple example would be the choice of which prom dress should I take. There is the blue one and there's the red one. Now, if you make a decision for the blue one, you cut off the red one. Same way the other way around. Now, sometimes it can help us to use that tool, to use the fact that we cut off when we decide. Because sometimes it's valuable to show, okay, I'm going to make a decision for this, but let me also have a look on what do I cut off with making a decision for this. Therefore, use the tool. When you make a decision or when you are confronted with making a decision, use the two-sided coin. If you decide for this, what do you cut off here? If that's too painful or if that's not worth it to cut off whatever you cut off, then don't make the decision or make a different decision. The second part would be that we have to think when it comes to decisions on, are there real decisions and unreal decisions? And I can tell you, yes, there are unreal decisions. People say, I want to lose weight, and it never happens. People say, I want to make more money, and it never happens. People say, I want to quit my job, and it never happens. Those are unreal decisions. I'm going to quit my job. I'm going to do this. Every New Year's, people saying, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do... It never happens. Why? Because it's not a real decision. It's just blah, blah. It's wish talk. It's not really there. Now, one key element for a real decision is that you can measure action or change flowing from that decision. That is a key point. That is key. You have made a real decision when you can measure the action flowing from it. How can we use that? Sometimes it's helpful just to make the action to then realize that you made a conscious decision, or the decision is easier. In terms of losing weight, go to the gym, do the hardest workout you've ever done, and then you realize eventually, I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to do this more often. I'm going to go to the gym on a regular basis to lose weight. That would be a tool that you can use and just take the last step, measuring action that came from a decision, and put it first. Do the action and then realize, that's right, I'm on the right path. I'm doing it. I'm there. It is working great. The last part starts with a personal story. I lived in Australia in 2011 to 2012. I was drinking a lot, I was smoking a lot, and I just had that period of my life where I was just enjoying and celebrating and party 2 nights a weekend, and I was just, living hard. Now, what was contrary to that one is that I hated hangovers. I hated hangovers. I still do. I hate them with a passion. And the other part that I hated was that I could not run a mile without being out of breath, without being totally wheezing, and it was just, I hated it. So when I learned all the theories about making a decision and what does it mean and how can you measure it and how can you make a proper decision, I said, I am not smoking anymore. And that was it. Since then, I've never touched a cigarette in my life again. I stopped smoking. I quit smoking in one day. Next day I showed up at work and I was asked in a smoker's break, hey, do you want a cigarette? And I said, no, I'm not smoking anymore. And people asked me, well, when did you stop? Well, yesterday. And then they said, oh, let's see how long that goes. Well, it's been 3 years in the making, a little more, and I'm positive that I'll never touch a cigarette again. Same I did for alcohol. I said I will never be drunk again. And I haven't, and I will not. I have a beer, and I really, really enjoy a beer to a soccer game since I'm German, but I will never be drunk again. That's it. I will never drink as much so that I would be drunk ever again. Simple decision. Now, the tool in this story and the tool that I used and that I learned is that you have, or that you can make the decision as if it already happened. I didn't say I'm gonna quit smoking, or I'm trying to quit smoking, or one day I will, whatever. I said I'm not smoking anymore. And since then I have not been smoking anymore. Since I realized that I am not smoking anymore, I never did it. So when you make a decision, state it and believe it and do it as if it already happened. Not one day, or not soon, or not when the package of cigarettes is empty, or whatever. Now, you quit now. You make the decision that you are not smoking anymore. You make the decision that you are going to the gym on a regular basis, and then you have to do it. Simple as that. I keep on telling it is so simple, but trust me, try it. Try those 3 tools and you will make better decisions. The first tool was look at the two-sided coin, which is when I decide for this, I decide against this, or I cut off this. The second tool was when you realize a decision, when you make a real decision, you can measure the action or the change that flows from it. So take the action and do it first, and then realize I'm on my way. I made a decision. That's it. And the third part was state your decision as if it already happened, as if you were already there. I am not smoking anymore. I am not using drugs anymore. I am as if it has already happened. Now those 3 tools I hope can help you to make better decisions. I got to the topic of making decisions or talking about decisions by a friend that I met in Vancouver. So if you have any idea what I should be talking about, or what I should study and tell you about or discuss in a video like this, please let me know. Until then, let's make better decisions. Let's change. Let's get some growing going.